Alisa, thank you for being here with me on Heartquake. Now, you were really the first heart sister that entered into my life. And I remember so clearly, I was devastated being diagnosed with idiopathic dilated cardiomyopathy, and someone introduced me to you. And I want to hear about your heart story and your journey of the heart.
It began shortly before I met you, and I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And started feeling unwell during my pregnancy. And my symptoms were very similar to late pregnancy symptoms, so I didn't know that it was heart related, but I knew it was something that just wasn't right. It wasn't normal pregnancy conditions, and my condition was undiagnosed or misdiagnosed until after I delivered my baby and shortly before I met you.
You've always inspired me through your story because you were misdiagnosed so many times.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I had, during my pregnancy, tightness in my chest and trouble breathing. I couldn't breathe and lay down flat. And I had trouble walking from one side of the room to the other side of the room without completely losing my breath. And I complained about it to my OBGYN when I was pregnant. And she said that those were normal symptoms of late-term pregnancy. And by this time, I was very late in my pregnancy. I delivered my daughter a week late. So I didn't think that there was really anything alarming, but I did feel like something wasn't right. I just knew in my intuition something was wrong with me. I was really sick.
Yeah. So how did you advocate for yourself if they turned you away?
I kept going back to the doctor. So after my daughter was born, I went to the emergency room 3 times. And each time was told I had some different, asthma, blood clots, postpartum depression, and sent home to rest. And I knew each time that something was really gravely wrong. I knew I was sick. I knew I was dying. And so I kept advocating for myself and going back to the hospital.
But you actually left, though. When they misdiagnosed you, you kept leaving.
Yeah.
And how did you handle that while you had a newborn?
It was really hard. I had to get help. My family helped. My husband helped. I really wasn't able to take care of my baby because some of the tests they did were, I don't remember what the test was called for the blood clotting, but I had to have some kind of like radiation intravenously. And so I couldn't even hold my baby for 48 hours when that happened.
Tell me about this condition, postpartum cardiomyopathy.
So the doctors don't know too much about postpartum cardiomyopathy. It is a pregnancy-related heart condition, and doctors really don't know why it happens. There are lots of theories about why it might happen, but no real concrete answers, and that's because it's so rare. And a lot of the women that they have followed who have postpartum cardiomyopathy have not lived. So there's just not a lot of data around the condition. So initially, when I was diagnosed, eventually, when I was correctly diagnosed with postpartum cardiomyopathy, I was told not to have any more children, that the chances of me surviving a second pregnancy were very slim.
Wow. And here you are. You have another child.
That's right.
So how did you get to that stage? How did you get to that point?
So that is a really interesting story. Again, I kept advocating for myself. Initially, when I was first diagnosed with postpartum cardiomyopathy, the doctor said to me, the first thing the cardiologist said was, it's a rare condition, and we as doctors don't know a lot about the condition, about the disease. But we are going to tell you that you should not have any more children. And so the red lights went off. I was thinking that if it's so rare and they don't know what it is, then how can they tell me something that has such a huge impact on my life?
Yeah.
So I went on a course of finding answers, and I went to another doctor and had an opinion from another cardiologist, and then a third cardiologist. And between all 3 of those opinions, I was able to make my own informed decision that I was comfortable with. And by that time, I met a 4th cardiologist who we share, the same cardiologist. And he gave me the green light ultimately to have another baby.
Amazing. As a mom, do your children have to be tested as well for heart disease?
I have had genetic testing of myself
Okay.
to see if I carry the gene that I possibly have passed on to them.
Okay.
And that was a difficult choice because they're young still. And even if they don't, I don't have the gene. So it's likely I did not pass it on to them. But that's hard information for young people to have if the answer was the opposite.
Yeah.
I did have them both tested when they were born, just to make sure that their hearts were healthy as well, and they were.
And you had something that we both had as well called a cardiac ablation. So tell me about your arrhythmia or regular heartbeat.
Yeah, so that's the other condition that I have, which is not related to my postpartum cardiomyopathy. And it's an electrical condition. Mine might be a little different than yours. It's called WPW, which is Wolff-Parkinson-White, and it's an electrical condition. And in order to have more children, I needed to have that problem fixed. So I had a procedure called an ablation. That was a miracle. It changed my life, and I'm symptom free from that, which is really incredible because that condition was pretty debilitating. When it was really bad, it was hard, really hard.
Something that I love about you and that has connected us is that you don't take no for an answer, and you keep moving forward, and you are not only surviving but thriving. And we are so closely connected because we co-founded the first peer-led support group here in Los Angeles for women living with heart disease. Now, tell me about what that experience has done for you.
Well, when I first met you, you were the first person that I had met who I could relate to, because the other women my age were healthy, relatively healthy. They just had their babies as well and were going on with their life, talking about growing their family and exercising and taking care of themselves in a way that I couldn't relate to, and they couldn't relate to what was happening with me. And you were the first person that I met who I could relate to. And it was like a breath of fresh air meeting you. And then coincidentally, we had the same doctor, and we have a very, very similar condition. Not the same, but heart failure essentially. So it's similar.
And we had the ablation.
Same doctor.
All of it.
So I think in starting the support group with you, I was really on a mission to help other women. To help them not to feel lonely like I felt before I met you and before we started the support group, and really just forming a community, a safe community where women could go if they felt lost or alone or depleted or just struggling with their heart condition. So I think my purpose at first was very outwardly to help others, but in the end, it really helped me heal and find a community of like-minded, supportive women.
And it's such a beautiful community. And that's the whole thing. We receive, even though we're co-facilitating this group and we're giving, I find that I'm receiving in the same way. And it's so beautiful. And like you said, I mean, a little pat on our backs because we were told that it could never happen.
That's right. Lots of roadblocks.
So many, all the red tape and bureaucracy. And thanks to Dr. Carol Watson and the Women's Cardiovascular Center at UCLA, we have really created something that I don't know, I have to tell you, I'm so proud of it.
I am too.
I'm
It's
really
very,
proud
very
of what we
special.
created.
Done.
Yeah, 13 years later, and we're still going strong. And think about all of the women that we've supported, and they've supported us too.
Very true.
And what is your primary message that you share with women when it comes to their hearts?
Two things. I would say the first thing is follow your gut and your instincts. And as women, we know when something is really, truly wrong. And don't stop at the first roadblock. Keep seeking questions, being your own advocate for your own health, and doing that by educating yourself, finding as much information as you can, and ultimately making the best decision that's right for you. And the second thing is to find community in the new normal. And it's a wonderful community. And that's where the real true healing comes, as we discussed. It's in finding a community of like-minded people who have had the experiences that you've had. And that's really where the road to recovery comes.
So I coined that phrase, heartquake or trauma of the heart. Tell me what that means to you when it comes to your own heart journey.
I really resonate with the word heartquake because in my journey, what happened to me really felt like a traumatic experience. It wasn't something that was in my plan. I was pregnant and ready to become a new young mom and planning my future family, and having heart failure just was something completely unexpected that hit me out of nowhere. So it really did feel like it was a trauma in my life at the time and shifted everything. And it affected all things in my life, my relationship with my husband, my parents, my sister, my job. It really was a quake. I just had to learn how to operate in a new normal.
Yeah. Thanks for watching Heartquake Media. Make sure you check out our website and social media for more information on heart healthy living. And remember, wellness starts with the heart.